Hi, my name is Maureen Fitzgerald, and this is my talk that I title Lean Out 50 Ways for Women to Overcome Invisible Hurdles That Hold Them Back. A few years ago, I attended a talk with over 200 professional women, and the title of that talk was The 7 Deadly Career Mistakes That Women Make. It altered the course of my life. The speaker, a tall, beautiful 30-some woman, from a high-end recruiting firm, told us in no uncertain terms that women are failing badly in corporations and in politics. She told us that only about 5% of all of the CEO positions in the top 500 corporations in North America were held by women. She told us that less than 20% of the elected political positions in North America were held by women, and so on. The speaker told us essentially that women have barely made headway into top positions in corporations and are rarely seen in influential or political positions. We still earn much less than men, have almost no mentors or role models, and get offered fewer promotions. In other words, women lag behind men in terms of income, status, and influence. But rather than point to the real deep causes and reasons, the speaker chose to, on that occasion, as happened in many times before, to blame women. She suggested that we did things like not negotiate hard enough, not speak up loud enough, not brag enough, and so on. She suggested we didn't wear the right clothing, that we didn't walk properly, and so on. Later that night, I became deeply depressed and kept asking myself the same question over and over. Why is it that women keep going to these presentations and talks? And where are the men? Why are women so concerned about finding the secret solution to advancing their careers? A slow, crushing wave of sadness crept over me as I began to imagine the hundreds and thousands of brilliant professional women around North America who are enormously talented, yet at the same time thinking there's something fundamentally wrong with them. These women, like me, had somehow come to the conclusion that we were not quite good enough. We think it's our fault for not getting ahead. We think it's our fault for not asking for bigger raises. We think it's our fault for not managing our unbelievably heavy workload and childcare responsibilities. And because we blame ourselves completely, we take on full responsibility for engaging in our own self-improvement, no matter what the obstacles. Then I had an aha moment. What if the problem is not women? What if there's absolutely nothing wrong with women? What if instead the problem is our thinking about women? What if the real problem is a world that cannot see women's true value? What if women are actually doing things correctly, but their bosses, their friends, their husbands are telling them that they're all wrong? What if we stopped asking women to improve themselves and instead asked why our systems are designed to keep women out? What if we embraced all women and their true feminine strengths? Imagine that. Crazy talk, I know. So the bottom line is this: although things have improved slightly for women in certain sectors, women still lag behind in many, many ways. Although women have gained a few more freedoms than historically, many women are still struggling to hold their homes, careers, and marriages together. Others suffer from depression, anorexia, and loss of self-esteem. And they don't talk about it because they're too embarrassed or ashamed. The big problem is that we all refuse to admit that the difficulties that women face are universal and not due to a genetic malformation or a female gene. Girls and women worldwide are being held back not because they're born inadequate or are fundamentally weak, but rather because we've created a world that treats them as second-class citizens. It normalizes this treatment and then hides the evidence in propaganda, so it's almost impossible to see yet alone question. And if you do question this mistreatment of women, as I am doing here, people may call you a bitch, a complainer, or shame you into silence. So this is what I chose to do. I chose to conduct 8 years of research into why women are feeling the way they are, what are the systems and institutions that hold them back, and I'm now writing a book called Lean Out, the 50 ways to identify institutional barriers and combat them for women. I hope you'll visit my website, www.maureenfitzgerald.com, and comment on my ideas or my books. And thank you very much for listening to this video.